So nice being with all of you, and thank you for the organizers to inviting me. It is always a pleasure to come in Thakur village, either to speak or to hear, right? This program is going on since last, how much? 10 years, I think, no? 10 years, and I've been a part of it, seeing it through various phases. And Krishna Kumar Prabhu has told me to talk about appearance of, no, uh, Vaman Dev, right? Appearance of Lord Vaman. Because tomorrow is Vaman Dwadashi, and also it is the appearance of Jiva Goswami. So we are going through a lot of festivals, right? This is a festival period. Actually, every month is some festival. Before coming to ISKCON, we had only certain festivals, Ganpati and maybe Holi, and But after coming to ISKCON, every month there is some festival. We had Janmashtami, which came on 9. First we had Balram Jayanti, then we had Janmashtami on 26th, then Nandotsav, along with appearance day of Srila Prabhupada, then Radha Ashtami on 11 September, and now 15 September we have Vaman Dwadashi, which is the appearance day of Lord Vaman. So, it is a joy for us as devotees or aspiring devotees to go from one festival to another and enjoy the festivities, either by hearing or participating or by offering garlands or helping in the seva, and along with that progress spiritually. So with each festival we are coming one step closer to Krishna. And otherwise, if it was not for me at least, if not for coming to ISKCON, with every enjoyment which I was doing, going to movies, I was staying in Prabhadev, so going to Shivaji Park, उधर कट्टा है, उस पे कट्टे पे बैठने का. So we had our own enjoyment in college, and at the end of enjoyment, what will happen? We'll do more sense gratification and come near to our death, right? So we were in South India Yatra many years back, and in Sri Rangam, so it is the place of Ramanujacharya and Sri Sampradaya. It's the main peeth of Sri Sampradaya. And there, I felt that, I felt like just at home, because I felt like just like I feel at home in Mayapur or Jagannath Puri. Similarly, I felt at home in Sri Sampradaya. We are hearing about the devotees of the Sri Sampradaya. One thing someone told me there, that out of 365 days, around 270 days or 280 days, there's festivals in that temple. So people who are staying in that Sri Rangam, there are some festival or the other of Ranganath going on for 260 days. So that is the richness of our Indian culture, right? That we have so many festivals, because Lord has appeared in so many incarnations in only Bharat Bhumi. And now, to be frank with you, after Modi became the Prime Minister, I am developing more pride in becoming Indian, in Hindu. And I am finding that all my peers, all of us, we are getting proud of our rich culture, which was not there so much earlier. So I will ask a very basic question here to the people. Why does the Lord appear in various incarnations? He's always appearing, right? So why does the Lord appear? Why does the Lord appear? Yeah. Dharma Sthapana. Fantastic. Dharma Sthapana. Yeah. For the pleasure of devotees. Yes. Devotees relish for the pleasure of devotees. Yes. What else? Doing his pastimes so that he attracts devotees closer to him. No? When he does the pastimes, we get a window to the spiritual world. How will we know? What is it like in Vrindavan? But when Lord appears here, in this Vrindavan here in the material world, we get a glimpse कि actual Vrindavan में क्या रहेगा, and then we get attracted to his pastimes. What else? Yes, to destroy the asuras, right? Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstarpanaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Right? What else? One more very important point which I want to touch upon. So he does all this to increase faith in the devotees. And he also does his pastimes in such a way so as to glorify his devotees. When Lord appears as Narsimha Dev, who is glorified? Prahlad Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to read Prahlad Maharaj pastimes again and again and again and cry. So when he appears as Ram, who is glorified? Hanuman. And Mahabharat, Krishna does everything, but Arjuna is glorified, right? Krishna is there, so that's why. Partha Sarthi. So similarly, we have this 9 processes of devotional service. So we have this wonderful bhajan by Govind Das. Bhajahu re mana Srinanda Nandana Abhaya Charanara Vindare. And in the end, he ends it by Sravana Kirtana Smarana Vandana Pada Sevana Dasya Re Pujana Sakhi Jana Atmanivedana Govinda Dasa Abhilashari. So the 9 processes by which we can do the devotional service. And out of which the last is Atma Nivedan, giving everything, giving ourselves, giving our very life to the Lord. And that is symbolified by whom? Atma Nivedan? By Bali Maharaj, right? So when Vaman Dev comes, Bali Maharaj will definitely come into the picture. Because Vaman Dev came to glorify Bali Maharaj, to highlight his devotion. So Bali Maharaj was born in an Asura race. But if you look at his ancestors, means his father, forefathers, it's very mixed variety. Father was Virochan, who used to serve the Brahmanas. Grandfather is Prahlad, pure devotee of Krishna. Great grandfather is Hiranyakashipu, the greatest of all asuras. Great grand uncle is Hiranyaksha. Varahadev came to destroy him. So it's a mixed family. Topmost of all the asuras and topmost of all the devotees, Prahlad Maharaj. So Bali Maharaj falls in such a family and he is celebrated by us as one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. But he was an asura. So the story starts at the time of Amrut Manthan. Indra had offended his guru and they had lost their strength. And then they said, let's do Amrut Manthan. And they called the asuras also along with them. Both of us will do, and final product will be the Amrut. Beautiful Amrut, which will give us Amar. Nothing can happen after that. Our life will be prolonged like anything. And in the Amrut Manthan, Mohini Murti tricks the asuras, and all the Amrut goes to whom? The demigods. And finally, after all the Amrut goes to the demigods, Lord Mohini Murti reveals her Vishnu form, climbs on Garuda and goes away. And then demons realize, oh, we have been tricked. And they start fighting. Bali Maharaj is the king of the demons, and they start fighting with the Devatas. But the Devatas are now very strong with the Amrut. And they slaughter the asuras. No, they kill. And Bali Maharaj is fighting with Indra. And Indra throws his thunderbolt on Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj falls down unconscious, fatally wounded, almost dead. And at that time, many of his soldiers and many of his ministers, they are also dead. And that time, the asuras go away, they run away, and Shukracharya takes Bali Maharaj. And Shukracharya has this power of what? Sanjeevani. For those asuras who were dead, but whose heads were not cut, waist was not cut, legs were not cut, he could revive them by Sanjeevani. And Bali Maharaj was unconscious and almost dead. He revived him also. So that was the strength of Shukracharya. And after that, what happens? Bali Maharaj becomes very indebted to Shukracharya. Whatever Shukracharya you do, I will serve you. So, after that, he starts serving Shukracharya in a more dedicated way. He surrenders more to Shukracharya. Now, Shukracharya is the son of Bhrigu Muni. So, he starts serving all the Brahmanas and the descendants of Bhrigu Muni. And Shukracharya says, now I will make you strong. Do 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. So, they do 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Bali Maharaj does 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. And he pleases all the Brahmanas, gives a lot of charity, and by his humble attitude, he pleases all the Brahmanas and all the descendants of Bhrigu Muni. And then what happens? Because of that, he gets Brahma Tejas, the power of Brahma Teja. And that power is just so strong that now he says, now Shukracharya says, now you attack Indralok, Indrapur. And now when he attacks Indrapur, he is so effulgent, he is so powerful that just by looking at Bali Maharaj, Indra starts quaking in fear. He says, he's so powerful, let's look at his effulgence. How can I fight him? And he approaches whom? Brahaspati. Brahaspati is the guru of Devatas. And Brahaspati says, what should I do now, Brahaspati? So Brahaspati says that he has satisfied the Brahmanas. And he has satisfied his guru. And he has become very powerful. Now, you cannot do anything. All you can do now is run away from here. Become invisible, all of you Devatas, and run away. And all the Devatas become invisible and they run away in fear of Bali Maharaj and the Asuras. So now, there is a very, very important point which Radhanath Maharaj makes in his lecture for this. The same Devatas were there during the Amrut Manthan. The same Devatas had taken Amrut and become so powerful, which becomes you Amar. But Bali Maharaj had the blessings of his Guru and of the Brahmanas. The blessings of the Guru and the Brahmanas and the Vaishnavas are so powerful that even with Amrut, the Devatas were powerless. So that is the power of blessings. Here Bali Maharaj got blessing from the Brahmanas, descendants of Bhrigu, of his Guru. But what to speak when we get the blessings of Vaishnavas? So even though Devatas had nectar, they could not stand up to the Brahma Tejas, the blessings which Bali Maharaj had received. So if we think, when we come to devotional service, we are neophyte devotees. And we respect all the other devotees and start service in a small way. And then we spend some years, and by the blessings of many devotees, we get empowered to do services. Someone will give a class like I am doing. Someone will be a fantastic preacher. Someone will be a fantastic book distributor. Someone will act in dramas like he himself is Bali or himself is Vamandev. We have many actors here. I know Thakur village there is acting. So someone will do fantastic kirtan, do fantastic mrudanga. And then what happens as we progress in devotional service, what happens is we develop some pride. It happens to everyone. It happens to me. It happens to everyone. Because when you grow in devotional service, you get respect, some name, fame. You develop some pride. And that pride, because of that pride, it sometimes decreases the blessings. Or sometimes the pride is very high, it stops the blessings. Or if it's very high, then you get curses. Arey, this person has now gone. And then what happens? Fall down is certain. Fall down is certain. So once I was in Pune for 6 years. So some of the brahmacharis, I was close to brahmacharis. So some of the brahmacharis were 12, 15 years in devotion. One of the brahmacharis was telling us, that we brahmacharis who were equals, we were discussing that when we started our devotional service as brahmacharis, we were progressing so fast, इतना fast. और अभी हमारा थोड़ा slow progress हो रहा है, इतना fast नहीं हो रहा है, ऐसा क्यों है? Why is that happening? Then we came to a conclusion that Abhi, of course he was humble, so he was sharing. He is humble, that's why he was sharing with me. I was a grasta. Then we came to a conclusion that we also feel that हम भी कुछ है. हम भी कुछ है. हम कुछ नहीं थे और कुछ नहीं है. हम कुछ नहीं थे और कुछ नहीं है. सिर्फ वैष्णवों की कृपा से हमें कुछ एबिलिटीज मिला है. बट हमें क्या लगने लगता है? हम भी कुछ है. So that is the catch in devotional service. And I was hearing a class of Krishnanand Prabhu where he was speaking about Ravindra Swarup Prabhu. Now Ravindra Swarup Prabhu is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He joined Srila Prabhupada's movement in 1971. And he said how to detect if any devotee is going through a pride. So when he said how to detect any devotee is going through a pride, it is not for others. It is for us. Because as we grow in devotional service, we have to carefully analyze ourselves, that what is my intent, why I am doing this for, uh, and am I proud? Of course, we get pride, and we have some pride. So, how to detect and how to prevent it? So Satswarup say, sorry, Ravindra Swarup say, Prabhu says very good points which are repeated by Krishna and Prabhu. First thing happens. So these points happen. So you have to analyze whether they are happening to us. And of course, some of them are happening to us if you carefully analyze. First thing which happens is lack of Vaishnava etiquette. Vaishnava etiquette is an ornament which makes a devotee beautiful in the eyes of Krishna. And we start losing on the Vaishnava etiquettes. We will not offer dandavat to devotees when they come in front of you. We may not offer dandavat to the Lord when you go to the temple. Or we may start calling people without addressing them as Prabhuji or Mataji, just by the first name. First you'll be casual, then you will just say, "Are, tu aaja yahan pe." That etiquette will not be polite. So slowly your Vaishnava etiquettes deteriorate. So once I was in Pune and I was going to Radha Kunjabari temple in the morning and I saw a senior brahmachari who was senior to me. And he saw me, he's from Gopinath. I said, wow, Hari Bol. The minute he saw me, he offered dandots to me. And he first offered dandot, then I offered dandot. So I was very taken back that he was senior, yet he's a brahmachari in saffron. Still he's offering dandot to me. So I offered. So I was very impressed, right? No? And then I was speaking to him. And he told me, you know what? The secret of devotion, because many years in Krishna consciousness, the secret of Krishna consciousness is that every day you feel as if you are a new devotee. You have the conscious that as if I am a new devotee, fresh devotee. So you'll offer all respect to others. So that is what I learned from him. So first point is lack of Vaishnava etiquettes, to detect where we are pride. Second point, we start becoming quarrelsome. We start arguing. मुझे भी फिलोसफी मालूम है, तुमको ही मालूम है क्या? तो मैं भी बोल सकता हूँ. We start arguing. Sometimes with equals it's fine, but sometimes with seniors we start arguing. So we start arguing. Third point, we start competing with each other. First we do it as a service, then we get into limelight, and that we get name, fame, then we say we want to excel than others. अभी कंपटीशन मटेरियल में हम लोग तो कॉम्पिट कर ही रहे, वो कंपटीशन हम डिवोशन में भी लाते हैं, उधर भी कॉम्पीट करना चालू करते हैं कि आई वांट टू बी अ बेटर डिवोटी, आई वांट टू सेल मोर बुक्स. It is not out of service attitude that I want to serve nicely so temple wins or our congregation wins or Thakur village count comes, because I win. So we start getting competitive. So what happens in that is that we are not actually nourishing our devotional creeper, but we are nourishing our weed. But since we have pride, we think that we are actually nourishing our devotional creeper, but actually we are nourishing our weeds. So it happens, we become proud, then we start disrespecting people, we start offending people. This all happens because we start competing with each other. Service attitude is not there. Fourth point to detect if we have pride. We pretend that we are more advanced than we actually are. We know our level, all of us know our level, where we are, what is our chanting, what is our hearing, what is our, where we are, how much anarthas we have in our heart. But externally, we pretend to be at a much higher level than we are. We don't speak out, we don't speak out, अरे मेरा ये अनर्थ है, मेरा ये है. You pretend, we conceal our shortcomings. Once Madhavan Prabhu had told us in Bhakti Vedanta, in one of our managers meeting, he was sharing with us. He said that best part in Bhakti, if you want to stay in Bhakti now, be at your level. Act at your level. अपना level जान लो, वो level पे आप act करो. Don't act as a pure devotee, you will fall flat on the face. तुम्हारा जो level है, उस पे act करो. इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि become shameless. अरे मैं तो ऐसे हूँ, मैं तो चाय पीऊँगा, मैं ये नॉन ये खाऊंगा. It doesn't mean that we become shameless. अरे तो मेरा level ही है. That is another end of it. So it means that we know what is our level and take our steps accordingly, grow baby steps in devotion and work towards improving our level. It's not that be at the मैं तो यही level पे हूँ. So we pretend that we are more advanced than we really are. Fifth thing which happens, no association with equals. So you don't get any feedback because equals bring you down. Sixth is finding faults with others. Start finding faults. Start seeing faults. इसमें fault है, इसमें fault है. Then you know scripture, तो scriptures use करते हैं उसमें fault find करने के लिए. अरे scriptures में ये है तो fault है. So you start fault finding. This all happens. It will happen to all of us. Don't smile. It is for us. Then immaturity by identifying spiritual advancement with organizational advancement. So the Radha Gopinath is being ग्लोरीफाइड. राधा गोपीनाथ को सब लोग बोल रहे हैं कि अरे क्या गोपीनाथ कांग्रेगेशन है, वाह बहुत अच्छे डिवोटी है. तो हमको लगता है अरे मैं भी अच्छा डिवोटी हूँ. अरे वो गोपीनाथ को राधानाथ महाराज की वजह से इतना और सीनियर डिवोटीज की वजह से इतना कॉम्प्लीमेंट कर रहे हैं. मुझे लगता है मैं भी कुछ हूँ. हाँ. दूसरी चीज ये होती है कि हमें पोजीशन मिलता है. हाँ. हम लोग मैनेजर बनते हैं टेम्पल में, या काउंसिलर बनते हैं, या मेंटर बनते हैं, या प्रीचर बनते हैं, या लेक्चर देते हैं. एंड वी आइडेंटिफाई दैट विथ आवर स्पिरिचुअल प्रोग्रेस. इट हैज नो कनेक्शन इन वन वे because spiritual progress is totally different. I may be very good at giving lectures, I may be good in managing, I may be good in counseling, but my spirituality I may be very low. So don't map it either. And some people may not have any position doing simple service, but you will be at a very, very high level of spirituality. So don't judge anyone. And eighth is we start straying from the path of bhakti. We avoid taking services, avoid meeting devotees. That is the later stage. Avoid taking services, avoid meeting devotees, because they will tell something, point something. So better stay away. I am great, I know it. Why should I go mix with them? So then Ravindra Swarup says the ABCD to curb the pride. ABCD to curb the pride. Four things. One is acceptance, awareness, and appreciation. So you become aware that you are proud and accept that you need help and appreciate whenever anyone gives you help, which brings down your pride. When anyone points out any flaws, appreciate that. Be grateful. If you go through a purification, be grateful to Krishna. This happened to me. At least my pride came down. So first is accept, aware, be aware and appreciate. Be eager to serve, whether in the foreground or in the background. Be eager to serve. If you're not eager, act eager. Take some service. Any small service you take. If you don't have big service, take some small service. But keep serving. Be eager to serve either in foreground or in the background. See, this is very important. This has helped me. Do conscious acts of humility. You have pride. You know, bend down in front of seniors. Bend down in front of equals. Bend down in front of juniors. Offer them dandavats. No problem. Then glorify your rivals whom you are competing with. Appreciate them. Offer dandavat to them. Accept. Many of the seniors, the devotees, even sannyasis, they accept menial services, washing the toilet. They do it. They don't need to do it, but they do it just to act in a humble way. So do these acts, conscious acts of humility. And D is what? Don't take praises seriously. हमें कोई प्रेज करता तो इमीडिएटली हम लोग वो सीरियसली लेते हैं. कोई क्रिटिसाइज करता है, अरे उसका प्रॉब्लम, वो तो क्रिटिसाइज ही करता है. आप प्रेज करेंगे हमको, इसने मेरे को एक्चुअली पहचाना है, मेरा क्वालिटी अच्छा पहचान है, इज अ नाइस डिवोटी. सो डोंट टेक प्रेजेस सीरियसली. So one devotee told me a very nice advice many years back. Ki if you get any appreciation, this if you do now, it will really protect you. If you get any appreciation, immediately pass on the credit. If you get an appreciation that, you did a nice drama, acting. My director did a good job. He told me what to act. Pass on the credit. So you are safe. You don't carry the weight of that appreciation. So these are some of the points which I'll just repeat quickly and go to the story. How to detect pride, lack of Vaishnava etiquettes. We start competing with each other. We pretend to be more advanced than we are. We start becoming quarrelsome, no association with equals, finding fault with others, immaturity by identifying spiritual advancement with organizational advancement, and we don't stray from devotional service. We avoid taking services, avoid meeting devotees. And the ABCD to curb pride, to cure pride, accept that we have pride, appreciate, accept that we need help, become aware you have pride and appreciate any help, be eager to serve. B is be eager to serve in the forefront or background. C, conscious acts of humility. And D, don't take praises seriously. This is what Ravindra Sarup Prabhu has told. This comes with lot of maturity. So here we come back to Bali Maharaj story. Now what has happened is Indra has ran away. Devtas have ran away. Now since Indra, Devtas have ran away, who gets disturbed? When I think to children, mother gets disturbed. So their mother is Aditi, who is the wife of Kashyap Muni. So she gets very disturbed, saying, all my children don't have a house, and what should I do? She is lamenting. But Kashyap Muni is a pure devotee of Krishna. He is meditating in the forest, meditating on Krishna. So she is waiting for him. So after many years, he comes home and sees his wife lamenting. And as any husband, oh, what has happened? Why are you lamenting? So she says, oh, my whole family, they had so much things. And now nothing is there. Kashyap Muni is a realized soul. He says, tells Aditi, he explains her, it's given Bhagavatam. He explains her all philosophy that, no, this will keep on happening. Sometimes material things are there, they are not there. But she is not ready to accept because her children are suffering. Mother cannot accept her children suffering. So then she talks to Kashyap Muni and says, do give me something so that they will regain their kingdom. So Kashyap Muni is seeing her, उनका हट जो है वो देख के अपनी पत्नी का बोलते okay, I will give you Payovrata Vrat, Payovrata sacrifice. If you do this Payovrata sacrifice, then you will please Vishnu. And when you please Vishnu, your children will get whatever they want. You do this sacrifice for your children. So she starts fasting, worshipping the Guru, worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then keeping herself very clean, in a very nice consciousness. This sacrifice goes for 12 days. She serves the Vaishnavas, feeds the Brahmanas. So the whole purpose of this Payovrata sacrifice is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now when you please the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what will you ask? What will you ask? What we will ask is a different thing. But what we have been trained to ask. If the Lord appears in front of you, what you will ask? What? Wealth and health. Okay. Bhakti. Yes, wealth and health also you can ask. But what have been trained? So I am saying I will also ask something maybe, like that. But at least we have been trained. What we have been trained to ask? To ask for bhakti, ask for association of devotees, ask for service to devotees, ask for pleasing the devotees, whatever. Something devotional we'll ask. But what does she ask? He knows her heart. So the Lord says, he appears in the form of Vishnu or Narayan, four-handed form, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma, with the Kaustubh jewel, with a beautiful yellow dhoti. In Ganpati there is this, I love this, Yeyo Vitthale, everyone knows? Anyone knows? Yeyo Vitthale. So I usually love that, Pivula Pitambara, Kaisa Gagani Zhadakala, Kaisa Gagani Zhadakala, Garudavar Baisoni, Maza Kaivari Ala. I love that line, no? So similarly, with the Pivula Pitambar, Narayan appeared in front of whom? Aditi. Aditi is the mother of all Devtas and wife of Kashyap Muni. So he appears and he says that, okay, I will save your sons. By how? By being your son. I will come as your son. So Lord appeared on this Shravan Dwadashi, which is the 12th day of bright fortnight in the month of Bhadra. And he appeared at noon, which is the auspicious moment, which is called as Abhijit. On that moment he appeared. So therefore that day is also known as Vijaya Dwadashi, or the day of victory. So he said, I will first incarnate in your husband. So you serve your husband. I'll manifest myself in your husband. You serve your husband nicely, and then through his body I will enter your womb and appear as your son. So he appeared as Narayan. When he appeared as Narayan, all Aditi and Kashyap Muni, they served Narayan, they worshipped him, they were very happy. And in front of their eyes, he transformed into the beautiful form of, when he appeared through Aditi's womb, that's why he first appeared as Narayan. The Lord appears, he incarnates, and he appears on this Vaman Dwadashi. And that time, he first appeared in the 400 form and then transformed into the form of Vamandev, a 5-year-old boy who is a dwarf. Dwarf. In Sanskrit, dwarf means Vaman. Vaman means dwarf. So he's called Vamandev. He doesn't appear like a small baby. He appears as a small child, 5-year-old, but as a dwarf. So I had the benefit of, see, these dramas, when we do dramas, they have such an impression on the children, youth, old people, everywhere. So my first drama, when I came in 97, in the 90s, late 90s or early 2000, I don't remember exactly. First drama where I really took part was this Vaman Dev drama. Adi Keshav Prabhu was the director. And he gave me the job. That time the drama used to happen in Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan, near our temple. And he gave me the job of doing the lighting of the drama. So I had to decide, kidhar kya light aana chahiye, idhar ye light aana chahiye. So I was totally absorbed in the drama. And we used to go for practice in Krishna Chandra Prabhu's house. And his son, Priyavrat, was Vaman Dev. He was very young that time. Small boy, 5-year-old. And Bali Maharaj was Adi Keshav Prabhu. And I was doing the lighting, and finally it came on the stage. I mean, I resonate with this story because that drama had an impact on me. So I can really feel how when Vamandev enters. So I was at the top. I mean, the drama was down, and I was sitting at the top, at the corner. Top you have to sit with the lightsman. And I was telling him, Abhi ye light karo. And then the time came when Vamandev appeared in front of Bali Maharaj. And that time we turned out the yellow light, and he was golden in color. I still remember Priyavat. He was looking so beautiful. And the crowd was just absorbed watching the beauty of Vamandev. So that was the beauty which was material when I saw in the drama. But when actually the Lord appears as Vamandev, golden colored, beautiful dwarf, boy, what would be his beauty? So when the Lord appeared, so Vamandev is also called Upendra because he is younger to Indra. Upa means younger or smaller. So he is the younger brother of Indra. So he's called Upendra. He took the 3 steps, the famous 3 steps. So he's also called the Lord of the 3 steps. Trivikrama. So when he appeared, all the sages, demigods, they came to celebrate, they came to have darshan. And with Kashyap Muni as their head, they started performing all the ritualistic ceremonies, starting with his birth ceremony. Did his birth ceremony of Vamandev, then they moved to the sacred thread ceremony. So many people after 15 years, 20 years, they got this second initiation. That is the thread ceremony. So after so many years, many devotees got the Brahman initiation, is called sacred ceremony. So Vamandev ka immediately, they did this birth ceremony, they did this sacred thread ceremony, and it's very interesting. I was reading Bhagavatam, what different people offered during the thread ceremony to Vamandev. I'll just read that out. It's very, very interesting. So when they do the thread ceremony, when Maharaj gives us the Gayatri Mantra during the Brahman initiation. So this time, the Gayatri Mantra was given to Vamandev, the Supreme Lord, by no one other than Sun God. Sun God himself chanted, offered the Gayatri Mantra. The sacred thread to the Lord, Vaman, was given by Brihaspati, the Guru of the Devatas. Kashyap Muni, his father, he offered him a kusha straw belt. Kusha grass ka, straw ka belt. He offered him the belt. Now what would the mother offer a child? It's very interesting. I was reading. Mother, his mother Aditi offered Vamandev, you know what? A kopin to cover himself. And the other mother, which Mother Earth, she offered him deer skin. Just see our mothers, what they'll offer. Nice clothes, mera bacha hai. So he offered a kopin and a deer skin. They offered a kopin and a deer skin. The moon god gave him Brahma Danda, the danda he was carrying. The presiding deity of heaven, the deity gave him the umbrella which Vamandev was carrying when he met Bali Maharaj. The presiding deity gave him the umbrella. Lord Brahma gave him the kamandalu, the water pot. Sapta Rishis gave him the kusha grass. Saraswati gave him string of Rudraksha. Rudraksha mala was given by Saraswati. What did Kuvera give him? Kuvera gave him the pot for begging. So it's so amazing, no? Kuvera, the Lord of Wealth, gave him the pot for the thing for begging. And his first donation came from Parvati, the wife of Lord Shiva. So that is how his sacred thread ceremony happened. Vamandev ki jai. So he got well, well ornamented by various things, right? Vamandev. So this is analogy between Vamandev's appearance and Krishna's appearance. If you see, Krishna also appeared to Vasudeva and Devaki. And like he appeared to Kashyap Muni and Aditi as Vamandev, the Lord Vishnu appeared, Krishna appeared as Vamandev. So he appeared in front of Kashyap Muni and Devaki. So this time, distressed person was who? Aditi. Aditi was distressed because of a relative. Who are the Asuras? They are the sons of Diti. Diti is the wife of Kashyap Muni. So because of her relatives, she was distressed. And here, Devaki was distressed because of her relatives, Kamsa. He was also a relative. So when they appeared, and so here the Lord first appeared in the mind of Vasudeva and then got transferred to Devaki's womb. So here also he first appeared in the body of Kashyap Muni and then got transferred to Aditi's womb. And when the Lord appeared, he appeared as Narayan, 400 form. There also he appeared as Vishnu, 400 forms. And then converted himself to Krishna, correct? Small baby form. So there is a correlation there, how they appeared, right? So now Vamandev now goes to, he says, now I will go and visit Bali Maharaj. And Bali Maharaj is performing sacrifices, he's continuing his sacrifices. Where? In the northern bank of Narmada river. So if you see, there are so many holy spots all over India. I was just thinking, which is the holy spot for Bali Maharaj? Which is the holy spot? I was doing a Google and all. I was not able to find. But I found one temple of Vamandev. In the South India, there is one temple in Vamandev. Temple is there. So here I was very happy to read that Vamandev visited Bali Maharaj in the northern bank of Narmada river. So there will be a spot there. I don't know of that spot, but definitely it will be there, right? So when they saw him, Vamandev came, he was so effulgent. Like I remember the drama. No? We always remember the drama. Priyavrat Prabhu was looking so effulgent, golden. And Vamandev, when the real Lord appeared, he was so effulgent that he covered the effulgence of everyone. No, Bali Maharaj and the Bhrigu Muni's descendants, they were really effulgent. But they all became dim like glowworms. In front of the effulgence of Vamandev. They could see the effulgence. And all of them raised in their seats. They saw, who is this person? They were saying, is he the sun god? Is he Agni? Or is he one of these Sanat Kumaras who is coming here? So effulgent, who is he? Then when he came, Bali Maharaj received him, offered him a seat on the throne, washed his feet, and told, oh Brahmana, great Brahmana, what can I do for you? I am to see Yajna. What sort of charity can I give you? Should I give you cows, villages, jewels? What you ask, anything. The whole three worlds belong to me. Heaven belongs to me. Demigods are not there. They are hiding. So this is what happens. In that song of Govindas, Bhajaho Remanna, it said that sometimes you get struck by winter, sometimes summer, sometimes rainfall. So sometimes things are yours and sometimes you are penniless. We see this in today's world. We see just now that the PM of Sri Lanka, she was for 10 years, she was a PM, and 45 minutes she had to leave the country, and now she's running to find a place. So that is the place, that is the thing for all of us. One time it's temporary, sometimes you'll have, sometimes it will be zero, from beggar to pauper. So from the richest person to pauper. Sometimes करोड़पति हो जाओगे आप, sometimes रोडपति. सिर्फ रोड है आपके पास सोने को. तो yes, so Vamandev says that I want only 3 steps. Give me only 3 steps. Believers, what 3 steps? I am asking you, a small boy. You can ask me anything. So Vamandev says a very important point. He says that a person, if he doesn't have controlled senses, he can get things of all the 3 worlds. तीनों वर्ल्ड लोगों के चीज आपको मिल सकती है, लेकिन आपकी इंद्रियां कंट्रोल में नहीं है तो आप खुश नहीं होंगे. सभी चीज मिल, लेकिन अगर आपकी इंद्रियां कंट्रोल में है तो आपको कोई छोटी चीज मिले तो भी आप उसमें समाधान पाओगे. सो दिस इज व्हाट वी लर्न व्हेन यू कम टू डिवोशन सर्विस. हमको ये समझ में आता है कि गोल ऑफ लाइफ क्या है. पहले हमको क्या था कि मैं आईटी में था, तो मुझे हर पगार के बाद मेरा इंक्रीमेंट 30% होता था तभी 90s में, 30%, 35% इंक्रीमेंट. फिर भी हम लोग 6 महीने में वी स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग, अरे फिर भी खुश नहीं. बाकी लोगों से इतना पगार मिला है फिर भी खुश नहीं. तो दैट्स व्हाट वामनदेव सेज. सो ही सेड I will be satisfied by getting only the 3 steps. If I am not satisfied by getting 3 steps, then even if I get one island of the Bhumandalas, one of the 7 islands, then also I will not be satisfied. So give me only 3 steps. So Shukracharya is there. He is the Acharya, he is the guru of Vamandev. He says, no, he is the guru of, Bali Maharaj. He says, he understands, he is Vishnu. So when he says, give me 3 steps, Bali Maharaj says that, yes, I'll give you. The 3 steps I'll give you, don't worry. Shukracharya immediately says, what have you done? You ignorant fool. He is none other than Vishnu, your enemy. He has come to take all your wealth away. And worse, give all that to your enemies, the Devatas. What are you doing? Guru is telling him, Shukracharya. But Bali Maharaj said, but I have already promised him. Now what can I do? So Shukracharya starts quoting scriptures because he is well versed in scriptures. So when we are well versed in scriptures and we are attached to wealth, power, prestige, this is what we also do. So he also did the same thing, Shukracharya. He started quoting scriptures and telling, it is okay in scriptures. When it's a dangerous situation, आपत्कालीन परिस्थिति में आप कर सकते हो, promise break कर सकते हो, कोई problem नहीं. Scripture, when there is an emergency, you can break, he tells it. But Lord Bali Maharaj does not agree. So if you look at Shukracharya, his meaning, Shukra Acharya. Shukra is what? Venus. So Shukracharya meaning is guru who is associated with planet Venus. Shukra. So what is this Shukra? Sanskrit name, Shukra is Sanskrit name for Venus. तो जिस शुक्र प्लैनेट ना, शुक्र का आपके ग्रह में आ गए ना तो लोग बहुत खुश होते हैं, बिकॉज इट इज रिलेटेड टू वेल्थ, प्लेजर, रिप्रोडक्शन. कर्मी लोग में जो भी है, दे गेट वेरी हैप्पी. वीनस आ गया अपने प्लैनेट्स में, यानी व्हाट, तुम्हारा ग्रोथ होगा, मटेरियल तुम्हें मिलेगी चीज, वेल्थ मिलेगा, प्लेजर मिलेगा, रिप्रोडक्शन. एंड विजावी बृहस्पति हु इज द गुरु ऑफ द देवतास, he also maps to he is associated with Jupiter planet. So Jupiter planet का दूसरा नाम क्या है? बृहस्पति है. And this is one of the most auspicious planets. जो आप अगर ये आप करते हो इसमें कुंडली वगैरह देखते हो तो it is associated with wisdom, knowledge, religion, spirituality, philosophy. So क्या था, शुक्राचार्य गुरु क्या बोल रहे थे कि वामनदेव का, वामन का मत सुनो, प्रॉमिस ब्रेक करो, क्योंकि यू हैव वेल्थ, यू हैव टू एंजॉय प्लेजर एंड ऑल दैट. और बृहस्पति गुरु क्या बोलते हैं देवतास को कि फॉलो रिलीजन, फॉलो द पाथ ऑफ कृष्णा, फॉलो नॉलेज, विजडम, फिलोसॉफी. तो वैसे ही हमें हमें भी सोचना चाहिए हमारे लाइफ में कि आफ्टर स्पेंडिंग सर्टेन टाइम इन डिवोशन, we also guide some people, we become like shiksha gurus, though we don't have that caliber of the shiksha gurus which were of our acharyas, but we become sort of shiksha gurus. But what are we telling them? Are we acting for the best interest of that person whom we are guiding, or we are telling him that नहीं यही preaching program में आओ, वो preaching में क्यों जा रहे हो, ये टेंपल में आओ, वो टेंपल में क्यों जा रहे हो, अरे मैं मेंटर हूं, अरे वो मेंटर के पास क्यों जा रहे हो, क्या हुआ? You are becoming selfish, or you are becoming selfless and thinking about best for that person. If that is best for best person to go to the other person, let him go to the other person. In fact, if it's best for him to go to another parampara, as long as he's one of the four bona fide parampara, let him go. He will progress in devotional service. So are you acting like Brahaspati or like Shukracharya? We have to analyze, right? So that's what happens. So Bali Maharaj, what is he thinking? He is thinking that now I have given my word. If I break my word, I'll be untruthful. I'll be saying something and I'll be not following that. I'll not be doing that. So I'll be untruthful. So what is it if I get the whole material world, but I lose my honor? People call me a liar. What will I get? But what will I lose if I give him everything, but I maintain my word and maintain my honor? I'll still be gaining something. Secondly, Bali Maharaj thinks that a real guru should be telling how to surrender to the Lord. And this person is telling me how not to surrender to the Lord. So he's a bogus guru. So I'll reject him. So Bali Maharaj rejects him and he tells Vamandev again that I will give you your 3 steps. And when he tells Vamandev that I will give you 3 steps, what happens? Shukracharya gets angry. And he curses Bali Maharaj because he is attached to his wealth, right? So this is the point which Maharaj was making in his class, which I was hearing, that about truthfulness. No? He was saying that those who have spiritual culture will never lie for their own benefit. Sometimes what happens, for this Maharaj was not saying, but I am just telling it, sometimes 2 principles clash. Once there was a Brahmana and there was a cow he saw running and he was going in one direction. And went to that direction, he was running. And there are some other people coming. And they also told him, where did a cow go? Now he's a Brahmana, he has to speak the truth. But they were coming to kill the cow. Now 2 principles clashed. One was truthfulness. What was the second principle which clashed? Compassion. So he said, no, she has gone this way. So he told a lie. But that was for a higher principle. And that was not for selfishness. That was selflessness. No? So any lie, sometimes you have to speak, you have to carefully analyze whether it is for selfishly or selflessly. You may have to speak a lie. Ideally, you should not speak a lie. You should speak only truth. But it's Kali Yuga. But most of the times when we speak a lie, it is for ourselves. At least for me, I will tell. Selfless lie jo rehta hai na, for that you have to be at the very higher stage of devotion. So generally, we should not lie. So there is this story about, so as far as possible, when you are truthful, sometimes in an immediate basis, you have to suffer. But long term, you will gain. But when you lie, immediately you will get the benefit. But long term, you will suffer. That is for sure, somehow. So there is this nice story given in Shastras of Satyakama in Chandrodaya Upanishad. Satyakama, who was the son of Jabala. Satyakama ka story. So this Satyakama was born to a prostitute. Her name was Jabala. And right from the birth, he was pious. He was interested in spiritual knowledge. He wanted to study from a teacher or a guru. But none of the gurus were agreeing to take him as their disciple because he was the son of a prostitute. The whole village knew. He was living in the outskirts of the village. No one was ready to take him. So once Gautam Muni came near that village, he came to know and he went to, because he wanted to learn the Shastras. He had that inclination. He went to Gautam Muni and told him, I want to learn Shastras from him. So Gautam Muni said, tell me your Gotra. What is your Gotra? So he started, what is my Gotra? So I'll talk to my mother and get back. What is my Gotra? Because I want a Brahman Gotra, right? He wanted a Brahmana as his disciple. So he went back to Jabala and Jabala told him the real truth. I am a prostitute. Now he went back to Gautam Muni. He had a choice. He was very keen to run Shastras. He was keen to be spiritual, advanced spiritually. He had a choice, tell a lie and be his disciple and learn all the Shastras, or tell the truth. And what will happen? He'll reject him. He will not get what he wanted. He tells the truth. And Gautam Muni, he says, you are a son of a prostitute. And you have told me that, which means I can never accept you. But you are telling the truth. So you have the Brahman qualities and I will accept you as a disciple. So Gautam Muni accepted him as a disciple and he became a great student. And he has written the Jabal Upanishad. There is an Upanishad by his name. Jabal Upanishad, on the name of his mother. So that is what happens when you speak the truth. Somewhere it benefits you 100%. Short term you may suffer, but long term, and wherever you have practiced in your life, everyone of you have practiced in difficult situations, you speak the truth, long term it has always helped. And there is another case where in the scriptures, in Mahabharata, where a person spoke a lie to his guru. Who was that? Karna. What did he speak a lie? He is a Brahmana. To whom he spoke the lie? Parshuram. And what happened? He learned all the Shastras, but finally Parshuram came to know, and then he cursed. He cursed. Then when you need this knowledge the most, you will forget it. And in fight with Arjuna, he forgot all his mantras and all that. So immediate gain, but long-term loss, right? So that is the point. So Bali Maharaj speaks the truth. He says, no, I have given the word, I cannot lie. And he says, okay, I will give you the 3 steps. And Shukracharya is very unhappy because he is Shukra Acharya, Venus. So he curses Bali. You fool, you are doing this, you will lose everything. And Bali loses everything. Bali Maharaj knows he has lost everything because Shukracharya has cursed. But in his heart he was blissful because he has spoken the truth. And second, he has surrendered to Supreme Personality of Godhead. After all, he is the grandson of Prahlad. He followed the footsteps of Prahlad. So he got the strength, Maharaj says. And he says, now take your 3 steps. And now the next part of the story is unfolding. Vamandev will now take 3 steps and cheat Bali Maharaj. But does the Lord really take from someone and really cheat that person? That you will see as the story unfolds. So there is a nice Dashavatar Stotra written by Jayadev Goswami, whom Prabhuji was going to sing, but we never spoke. It is given in Gita Govind. Of the various 10 avatars, in one of the avatar is Vaman avatar. And there is one nice verse which glorifies Vaman Dev. So I will sing it and everyone sing with me. That verse only. Chalayasi vikramane balim adbhuta vaman. Chaliyasi vikramane balim adbhuta vaman. Padanakha nirajanita janapavan. Padanakha nirajanita janapavan. केशवधृता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे केशवधृता वामन रूपा जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे, जय जगदीश हरे. Its meaning is, O Keshava, O Lord of universe, O Hari, who has assumed the form of dwarf Brahmana, all glories to you. By your massive steps, you are deceiving King Bali. And by the Ganges water that has emanated from the nails of your lotus feet, you will deliver all the living beings within the world. Huh? So, whatever the Lord does, there are multiple benefits coming to his devotees and to all the living beings. So Vaman Dev now is taking his 3 steps. He expands himself into his universal form. Now he has a beautiful golden helmet in his universal form. And he is everywhere in the universe. In his first step, he takes the first step from the lower planetary systems. He covers till the middle planetary systems. And then he takes the next step. In his next step, he goes beyond Brahmaloka. And his nail touches the covering of the universe. ये यूनिवर्स का जो कवरिंग है उसको उनके नाखून टच करते हैं और वो कवरिंग को पियर्स करते हैं. इट पियर्सेस, इट नेल्स पियर्स द यूनिवर्स. एंड आउटसाइड द यूनिवर्स व्हाट इज देयर? द कॉजल ओशियन. द कॉजल ओशियन का एक ड्रॉप नीचे आता है यूनिवर्स के कवरिंग से और भगवान वामन देव के चरणों को लगता है. और वो पानी फिर नीचे आता है हमारे यूनिवर्स में. और जैसे ही ये होता है सभी देव देवता अपने एरोप्लेन्स पे आते हैं, पुष्प विमान में आते हैं, कमांड अपने अपने पॉट्स लेके और पानी कलेक्ट करते हैं. महा भगवान का सब कलेक्ट करने लगते हैं देवी देवता पानी. सो दैट इज व्हाट हैपेंस. वामन एक्सपांड्स. And now he has taken 2 steps. He has covered the entire universe. And that water which has touched the feet of Lord Vamandev, what that has become? What that becomes? Ganges, the mother Ganga, the river we worship. That is that water coming from the causal ocean. When Vamandev's nakhun has pierced, now we go to take dip in Ganges. That is all because of Bali Maharaj and Vamandev. So we should be grateful for this Leela to happen so that Ganges could come. So what is the benefit of Ganges? Anyone who takes the dip in Ganges, anyone who looks at Ganges, anyone who the breeze which flows or Ganges touches you, all your sinful reactions get eradicated. आपके सब पाप धुल जाते हैं जब आप गंगा का दर्शन करते हो, उनमें नहाते हो, या जो हवा गंगा के ऊपर से जा रही है वो आपको टच करती है, आपके सारे पाप धुल जाते हैं. एंड और एक है उसमें गुण कि ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, कुछ काल में आपके हृदय में भगवान के लिए शुद्ध भक्ति जागृत होती है. तो गंगा माता ये भक्ति प्रदायिनी है. उनका ऐसे निर्माण हुआ. कैसे? वामन देव की चरणों से. ये सेकंड स्टेप में हुआ. अभी बचा क्या है? तीसरा स्टेप. तो तीसरा स्टेप है नो, दिस इज द कंपैशन ऑफ द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड. महाराज बोलते हैं कंपैशन भगवान का क्या है कि जो रियली कंपैशनेट रहते हैं ना आपके ऊपर, तो आपका सब कुछ छीन लेते हैं. डरो मत, हम पे नहीं होंगे वो, हम वो लेवल पे नहीं है. जो लेवल पे हम है उतना ही टेस्ट करते हैं भगवान. तुम्हारा जो 5 किलो का वेट है आपको 6 किलो का वेट देंगे. आपको ज्यादा वेट नहीं देंगे. तो वो भगवान क्या करते हैं, बट उनको वो वेट लेने की ताकत है. किसको? बलि महाराज को. तो उनका सब कुछ छीन लेते हैं. और फिर उनके पास क्या है? ना राज्य ना कुछ भी. तो अभी वो क्या बन गए? पॉपर बन गए, भिखारी बन गए हैं. लेकिन उनके पास एक है, ऑनर है. ऑनर, मैंने अपना शब्द दिया है. बट भगवान वो भी छीन लेते हैं. अभी बोलते हैं कि तुम्हारा तीसरा स्टेप दो. क्या? भाई उसके पास कुछ है ही नहीं, तो ऑनर भी गया. तो गरुड़ क्या बोलते हैं? अभी नाउ यू आर अ लायर. तुमने झूठ बोला है. तो गरुड़ अपने सर्प पाश में उनको बांध लेते हैं. देखो अभी बलि महाराज की क्या स्थिति हुई है. कैन यू इमेजिन? सपोज यू आर बिल गेट्स. और कोई आपके सामने आता है, मुझे कुछ दो. तुम बिल गेट्स बोलता है जो कुछ मांगो तुम्हें दे दूंगा. बोलता है तुम्हारा सब पैसा दे दो मुझे, पहला तो कोई देगा क्या, हम लोग भी देंगे क्या, केयरफुली सोचो, कभी आप दोगे क्या। आप कोई एक ब्रह्मचर्य है आपके पास, बोला और आप मूड में हो, भक्ति के मूड में, हाँ, बोलते जो चाहिए मांगो, बोला अरे तुम्हारा सब पैसा दो, बोलेंगे इसका क्या इंटेंशन है। हाँ, तो हम लोग भी नहीं, लेकिन बलि महाराज ने सब दे दिया है। हाँ, सो ही हैज गिवन, नाउ ही हैज, सो भगवान उनका सब छीन लेते हैं, नाउ ही हैज नथिंग टू टर्न टू एक्सेप्ट द सुप्रीम लॉर्ड, दैट इज द मर्सी which he gives to the pure devotees. He takes everything, relatives, friends, wealth, everything. So only thing remaining that you can do is turn to the supreme personality of Godhead, surrender to him. तो वैसे ही बलि महाराज के पास होता है कि उनका ह्यूमिलिएट करते हैं उनको, उनके राक्षसों के सामने। हाँ, उनके सब असुरगण है, वो देख रहे अरे क्या है, हमारे पास सब पैसा अभी तुमने दे दिया, ऐसा है, उनको भी टेंशन है ना, दे आर एंजॉयिंग हेवनली किंगडम, हाँ वो सब दे दिया, हाँ अभी क्या करेगा ये। हाँ, तो इन फ्रंट ऑफ हिज वाइफ, वाइफ के सामने तो अपना कॉलर ताट होना चाहिए ना, विंध्यावली, उनके सामने इज ह्यूमिलेटेड, अभी तुम तीसरा देने के काबिल नहीं हो, क्या दोगे। बट बलि महाराज इज ब्लिसफुल, इज वेरी हैप्पी, he is happy, why? Because he has kept his word to the Lord, he has surrendered to the Lord. After all, he is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj also comes there, he is also happy that Lord has taken everything, Bali Maharaj has given him everything. Bali Maharaj with tears of love towards the Lord, with deep devotion in his heart, he says, now the only thing I have is my body and my very self. So I am giving my whole life to you, my Lord. Now place the third step on my head. And he bows down his head. I remember that shot in that drama that he's Priyavat bro, Bali Maharaj, Adhikeshwar bows his head, and Priyavat is placing his foot on his head. And that was a scene of the drama. I don't know actually how it happened, but in the drama I am remembering. So he gives everything, and then Vaman Dev, what he does? Vaman Dev, he does, he surrenders, Bali Maharaj surrenders everything. That's why he is called for Atma Nivedanam. He gives everything for the pleasure of the Lord. So Bali Maharaj is giving everything. And like I said, does Vamandev cheat him? Someone has given something to Krishna. Does Krishna ever cheat him? No. So what does Vamandev do? Vamandev gives him Sutala Loka, a planet, lower planetary system, which is more opulent than heavenly kingdom. Is more opulent than even the heavenly kingdom. And he says, now I cannot leave the association. I cannot leave the association of Bali. So what he does? He takes the position of a doorkeeper and says, I will manage your door. I cannot leave you now. तुम्हारे दरवाजे के सामने मैं रहूंगा. ऐसा कोई बोलेगा आपको, जिसके लिए आपने सेवा दिया है. सपोज आपने सेवा दिया बिल गेट्स के लिए, बिल गेट्स कभी बोलेगा आपको मैं आपका डोर कीपर बनूंगा? नहीं ना. तो he gives him all the opulences which he has lost, and more, much more, is the personal association of the Lord himself. And wherever the Lord is there, the spiritual world is there. So he is actually in the spiritual world with the Lord. So he gives him that. So that is what it is, that whenever you give anything. So what can we learn from this? From the story of Vamandev and Bali Maharaj is Atma Nivedam, surrendering ourselves to the Lord and his devotees. That is what we can learn. So when we do anything for Krishna, we are trying to do, so we are trying to run this program. यहाँ पे अभी 60 लोग हैं, 70 लोग हैं, 80 लोग हैं, ये बस सब 5 लोग भी आए, चलो कभी 2 लोग भी आए. इसलिए Prabhupada was trying to preach in India. He was not, no one was there, but still he was trying and trying. So what Krishna looks, we have learned in Shastra, he looks at the intent. But Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Swami Maharaj, in one of his lectures, he told a very nice point about magnanimity of Krishna. कृष्णा का बड़प्पन ऐसा है भक्ति का, भक्तों के लिए. तो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, अपना इंटेंशन रहता है और एक्शन रहता है. हम कुछ इंटेंट करते हैं और एक्शन करते हैं. सो कभी कभी कोई अपने पास आता है विद द एक्शंस कि अरे आप ग्रेट हो, आपको बच्चों को अच्छा ये करता है उसको, पर उसका इंटेंशन है कि अरे इससे ना मेरे को कुछ चाहिए, मेरे को नौकरी चाहिए, पैसा चाहिए, ये चाहिए, वो चाहिए. तो जब भी उसका इंटेंशन हमको मालूम पड़ता है, हम लोग अरे इससे मैं दूर रहता हूँ, क्योंकि इंटेंशन बराबर नहीं। हाँ, कभी कभी इंटेंशन अच्छा रहता है, मुझे आपको पैसा देना है, आपको जरूरत है पैसे की, मैं पैसा देना है, हम देना है, हम रुकते, आ रहा है पैसा, आ रहा है, आ रहा है, आता ही नहीं। हाँ, मदद करने का इंटेंशन, बट मदद आती ही नहीं है उससे, तो हम लोग बोलते हैं अरे इसका कुछ प्रॉब्लम है। हाँ, क्या कि उसको करनी है बट आ ही नहीं रहे, तो हमें इंटेंशन है कि नहीं, इंटेंशन है बट आ ही नहीं रहे। बट व्हेन कृष्णा, स्वयं भगवान केशव स्वामी महाराज वाज टेलिंग अबाउट दिस, नाइस पॉइंट, समवन टोल्ड मी दिस, सो आई लाइक्ड इट वेरी मच। कृष्णा का जब भी इंटेंशन अच्छा रहता है किसका, लेकिन एक्शन अच्छा नहीं रहता ना, तो कृष्णा लुक्स एट द इंटेंशन। जैसे कि विदुरानी, विदुरानी का इंटेंशन क्या था, केला देना कृष्णा को। लेकिन वो क्या करती थी, वो भक्ति के भाव में इतनी भाव विभोर हो गई कि वो केला उठा के छिलका निकल रही थी और केला फेंक रही थी और छिलका कृष्णा को दे रही थी। और वो भक्ति में भाव विभोर थी। उनका इंटेंशन क्या था, केला देना, भक्ति, उनको सेवा करना। और कृष्णा भी भाव होकर के क्या लेते, इंटेंशन ले रहे थे, छिलका खा रहे थे, एक छिलके के बाद दूसरा छिलका। सो ही वाज लुकिंग एट दी intention and not the action. And the second thing, where there is a case where if your action is good but intention is not good, Krishna looks at the action. जैसे कि पूतना के केस में, पूतना के केस में क्या हुआ, उसका एक्शन क्या था, एक माँ का था, दूध देना, लेकिन इंटेंशन क्या था, पॉइजन से कृष्णा को मारना। बट कृष्णा लुक्ड एट हर एक्शन और उसको स्पिरिचुअल वर्ल्ड में अपने माँ का स्थान दिया, एक नर्समेड का स्थान दिया। और ये पूतना कौन थी मालूम है आपको, ये वामन देव की छोटी बहन जिसका नाम था रत्नमाला। तो जब भी वामन देव आते हैं उनके सामने, तो रत्नमाला को बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं, उनको बोलता है, उनका वात्सल्य भाव जागृत है, उनको लगता है मेरा भी ऐसा बेटा होना चाहिए। ये मदरली फीलिंग्स केम आउट फॉर वामन देव। बट व्हेन ही टुक एवरीथिंग फ्रॉम बलि महाराज, देन व्हाट हैपेंड, शी सेड आई नीड टू किल दिस पर्सन। फिर वो रत्नमाला became Putna. She came as mother, but with the intention to kill. And what did Krishna do? Gave her a place in the spiritual world. So that is the magnanimity of Krishna. So वैसे ही now extrapolating that, what is Krishna's magnanimity? कि जो जिसका इंटेंशन भी खराब रहता है और एक्शन भी खराब रहता है, इंटेंशन भी खराब है, एक्शन भी खराब है। जैसे डीमंस जो मारने आते हैं, कंसा वगैरह, उनको भी कृष्णा क्या देते हैं, लिबरेशन, मुक्ति, जिसके लिए इतने साधु विदु सालों जन्मों जन्मों से तपस्या कर रहे हैं, वैसे वो मुक्ति जो डीमंस को भी देते हैं कृष्णा। तो इनकी मैग्नेटिव देखो कृष्णा की, हिज मैग्नेनिमस। सो फॉर दोज पीपल हु हैव बैड इंटेंशंस एंड बैड एक्शंस, उनको भी वो लिबरेशन देते हैं। नाउ यू ट्राई टू थिंक अ बिट मोर, व्हेन कृष्णा एक्सेप्ट्स द मूड ऑफ श्रीमती राधारानी एंड कम्स एज चैतन्य महाप्रभु, महावदनाय, he is called महावदनाय. What does it do? We had whom? We had what was the जय विजय, क्या था उनका नाम? He delivers जगाय मधाई, करेक्ट, सॉरी, जगाय मधाई. So जगाय मधाई were like demons. They were doing so many bad things. तो ये यमराज, in यमराज court ना, there are this Chitragupta and all were tired writing down their negative things, no, their rooms full of his negative things. What they were doing, every second they were doing something negative, rapes, murders, this. So their rooms full. Chitragupta was tired keeping track record. What did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu do? When Krishna comes in the mood of Srimati Radharani, what does he do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, when he comes as Krishna, he kills the demons. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what did he do for Jagai Madhai? He gave them pure love of Godhead. Looking at his Mahavadana mercy, Yamraj fainted. He had never seen such compassion. He knew Krishna is compassionate. But when he came as in the mood of Srimati Radharani, looking as his compassion, giving pure love, devotion to even the most fallen, Yamraj fainted. And Srila Prabhupada has come in the same sampradaya of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he is passing us that compassion, that supreme compassion of Srimati Radharani. Now what we have to do? All we have to do now is surrender to Srila Prabhupada. How we can get the blessings of Srila Prabhupada? Just we have to surrender to the Srila Prabhupada. And how can we surrender to Srila Prabhupada? How can we surrender to Srila Prabhupada and how can we get blessings of Srila Prabhupada? I just wanted to make a few points. We can go after sannyasis. Maharaj, please give us blessings. Give us blessings. And Maharaj will say, okay, I had one friend. We had we had gone for a yatra, and one of the Maharaj, not our Maharaj, some other Maharaj, she actually approached the Maharaj and said, Maharaj, can I have your Maha? Maharaj said, and he gave the Maha. So, of course, you can ask for this, but that is not real blessing. They will give, that is okay. But if you want real blessings of the great souls, then what you have to do is follow their instructions. That is how you can show your surrender. So what did Srila Prabhupada tell us? So if you want to access that Mahavadanaya compassion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which comes in our parampara, which Srila Prabhupada is representing, we have to follow his instructions. We have to surrender to Srila Prabhupada by following his instructions. And what Srila Prabhupada has told us? Chant 16 rounds. Very simple. Follow 4 regulative principles. अभी बहुत लोगों का यहाँ initiation हो गया है. कितने लोगों का हुआ अभी this time? काफी लोगों का. So what are the 4 regulative principles? जोर से. No meditating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. So you just follow these 4 basic instructions. That is the start. And make the center of your life as following the instructions given by our acharyas. They have told us, do hearing, do chanting, go for Mangalarti, do deity worship. There are 64 ways of worshipping, doing the seva given by Rupa Goswami in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So you follow those practices of devotional service, follow the instructions. And that is how we can increase our surrender and get the real blessing of Srila Prabhupada, the real mercy which we want, which is available, Mahavadanaya mercy, the mercy by which Jagai Madhai, the most sinful demons were given pure love of Krishna, is available to us through Srila Prabhupada just by following his instructions sincerely. I am just reading out. So the most difficult part, people spend lifetimes achieving liberation. But Srila Prabhupada, what he has said, you can perfect your life in this very lifetime. I am reading out 2 letters he has written to his 2 disciples. Just see what Srila Prabhupada is saying. He is a pure devotee. His words will never fail. We just need to have that faith. To Amog, he says, one of his disciples, he says, Amog Das, it is very pleasing that you are making such steady advancement in Krishna consciousness. If you continue in such way and strictly follow the 4 regulative principles, making sure to chant at least 16 rounds on beats daily, it is without doubt that at the end of the lifetime, you can go back home, back to Godhead. To another disciple, Srila Prabhupada has said, understand our philosophy, read books, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, follow the regulative principles very rigidly, chant 16 rounds, attend classes, get up at Mangalarti. Following the regular principles will make us very strong in Krishna consciousness. In the direction of senior devotees, try to become fixed in devotional service to the Lord. This will bring satisfaction to you and make you eligible for going back to Godhead in this very lifetime. So Srila Prabhupada is carrying the compassion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That compassion looking at which, who fainted? Yamraj, who knows what is mercy. He fainted looking at compassion. All we have to do is practice devotion service sincerely to the best of our capability, hear the classes and try to follow it and apply it in our life sincerely. So this is how we can access the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and perfect our life in this very lifetime. It is possible. So tomorrow is Vaman Dwadashi. It is also the appearance of Jiva Goswami, who was surrendered to Rupa Goswami. I am not telling about him because we have run out of time. But his surrender was such that when Rupa Goswami chastised him for no fault of his, he accepted it, did fasting and all. He was almost on his deathbed. Then Sanatana Goswami brought him back to Rupa Goswami and said, Jiva Daya, Jiva Daya. And then Rupa Goswami took him. But because of his surrender, he revealed him the most intimate aspects of bhakti. And Jiva Goswami was the greatest scholar ever in our sampradaya. And that is Jiva Goswami. So tomorrow is where you can access their mercy. And you can pray to Vamandev, Bali Maharaj, Jiva Goswami, that we can also increase our surrender to Srila Prabhupada, take the baby steps, and work towards increasing surrender by following the instructions given by Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Maharaj and our Acharyas. So this very very क्या है एक ऐसा जैकपॉट दिन रहता है ना जहाँ पे उनको जैकपॉट मिल सकता है वैसे कल वो जैकपॉट दिन है एंड द राइट प्रेयर इज आत्मनिवेदन हाउ आई कैन सरेंडर एंड गिव माई लाइफ to the mission of Srila Prabhupada. I should be able to serve, please the devotees and surrender my life to the mission of the Srila Prabhupada and please him and please our Guru Maharaj. This is what we can pray tomorrow. It's a very nice day and you are praying to Bali Maharaj, who is the epitome of surrender, giving his very life, and you are praying to Jiva Goswami, who has surrendered his life to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. So you take that chance, and tomorrow is the day where you can really pray to all of them and pray that we can increase our surrender and surrender ourselves more and more to mission of Srila Prabhupada. Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we will just do one bhajan, ending bhajan. I can do. Any questions? Any questions? Yeah. I thought time was not there. That's why. You are still 15 minutes. Okay. Any questions? So if you are investing, it is not gambling. But if you are gambling, it is gambling. So I mean, sir, some people, if you, the way I understand it is that it should not agitate your devotion to Krishna. So if you are doing it as an investment or long term 20, 25 years or whatever, 10, 15 years, whatever, as a long term investment, as an investment, then it becomes an investment. It doesn't become a gambling. But if you are doing futures trading and it's affecting your Krishna consciousness, right? Then you need to really think whether you want to. I won't say that this is gambling. I don't want to put a tag on it, but I would say that then it's a problem, right? If it's impacting your Krishna consciousness, then you should be investing and you should not be gambling. So it may be like you may be gambling even in gold. I mean, it is a usually you do investment in gold, but now gold prices are rising. You may be gambling there. I don't know. It's your mindset, which makes you disturbed from your devotion or fixes you in devotion. Yeah, correct. So yeah. So say I'm giving you a concept. I don't want to say, and you understand the concept, right? And then you apply it in your life. So if it's disturbing your devotion, it comes to the point of gambling. It's short-term interest, like you said, short-term interest. You want quick money and all, then it comes under gambling. But if you want, if you are investing properly, then it doesn't come under gambling. So that is the concept. Then you apply it to different aspects of your life. I don't want to label, no, because different people will have different intentions while doing it, and you cannot say what his intentions are like based on actions. It's intention which matters. So we should not label, but that's what it is. Action. That is a magnanimity.
लगाई मधाई की बात की
हाँ,
even after doing so much bad bad actions
correct,
still he's भगवान ने उनको मोक्ष दे दिया
correct.
I mean, what is the logic behind that? फिर तो खराब काम करके भी आप मोक्ष दे देते हो, अच्छा काम करके भी मोक्ष दे देते हो.
That is not an
That's
encouragement for kharab kaam, but that is falls under the category of compassion, no? And that same logic is applied to us.
then what happens to his karma? उसने तो बुरा कर्म किया था, फिर भी उसको मोक्ष मिल गया.
हाँ, that karma is wiped out by the Lord. But वो same logic हमको भी apply होता है. हाँ, आप देखो शिला प्रभुपाद ने जिनको प्रीच किया वो हिप्पीज थे. हाँ, they were doing all the bad things. They were doing liquor, they were taking non-veg, they were doing gambling, they were womanizing. Women were spending time with mind. What did Prabhupada do? Huh? He gave them Krishna consciousness. He gave them the regulative principles. He uplifted them and made them fit to get pure love of Krishna. He did the same thing. What Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has done. He has done the same thing for us. Don't think that we are someone different. We are in the same boat. We don't know what we have done in millions of lifetimes. ये lifetime में आपको लगता है मैंने ये किया वो किया. Last lifetime में you would be a drunkard. We don't know what we were. So Prabhupada has done the same thing for us. It's nothing different. We are in the same boat. Provided we accept the grace of Srila Prabhupada, accept the instructions. When we accept the instructions of the Acharyas, and by the grace, all our anarthas go away, all our sins are wiped out. Like I said, Ganga का स्नान करके आपका sins are. It doesn't mean आप sin करो, गंगा में स्नान करो. It doesn't mean कि आप sin करो और भक्ति करो. If you do that, you will get more punishment. Don't think that bhakti I'll do and then I'll go and sin. Then Krishna will ensure that you will suffer in hell and you will get purified in a thorough way. So that's the point, that we are getting the same thing which Jagai Madai got. We have our own anarthas. We are not Jagai Madai. But by grace of Srila Prabhupada, he is giving us the love of Krishna. He is giving us the instructions. He is giving us access to the spiritual world which is inaccessible, very difficult to go. But just by following the regulative principle, chanting the name of Krishna, it is given by Bhakti Vinod Thakur in one of the Chintamani, Harinam Chintamani, that the name of the Lord is so powerful. Name of the Lord, by chanting you can get liberation. It can award liberation. That is the power of the holy name. Just by chanting you can get liberation. There's a significant, insignificant byproduct. And that is what is given by Srila Prabhupada. So your point is that, what is it? They should get punished and all that. That is normal karma. But when you come to bhakti and start following it with determination, then all your karma is negated. And we have stories, right? We have Valyacha Valmiki Koli. Valyacha Valmiki Rishi. How did it happen? He could not even chant Ram Ram. He said Mara 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 Ram Ram. And he is the one who wrote Ramayana. So we cannot say that why he should suffer or something like that. So that is the compassion of the Acharyas, compassion of Guru. If we accept that compassion, then that will happen to us also. Does it satisfy you or it doesn't satisfy you? Yeah. Yeah. Should stop doing the bad things. Yeah. Correct. You cannot keep doing it. But when you get the mercy, you won't do that bad actions. Like Jagai Madhai, you know what happened? They got so transformed. That later on Madhai, who had hit Nityanand Prabhu with a stone, Nityanand Prabhu told him that surrender to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he hit him with a stone, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to kill him by chakra, but Nityanand Prabhu prayed for him and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave him pure love of Krishna. So Madhai said, how I can atone? He asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Then he said, build a ghat. Build a ghat for all the people whom you have troubled and serve them. So he built a ghat near Ganga, and whoever came, he used to wash their clothes and all that. And some people were so angry with him that they used to hit him with a stone. What he used to do, Madhai? His heart was so transformed. He used to pick up the stone, go back to that person and said, please hit me again. I deserve more. And seeing his humility, seeing his surrender, unka heart bhi pighal jata tha. So that is what transformation happens. Then you don't do those negative things. That is what. हाँ चलो. So someone can sing, bro. Karthik can sing.